And hello, everybody. Hi, Nimisha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Good.
You just have to speak a little bit into the microphone. I don't know what's
Okay.
up with the thing, but we are here to celebrate Nimisha today, and we're going to celebrate everything she's done from she started working with me in June 2018. And what she did, like lastly, was closing out her first six-figure sale, which was a 6 months, $113,000 corporate contract. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're going to celebrate that today and everything Nimisha has been going through, the ups and the downs and the good and the bad and everything about it. So yeah, everybody can see how this stuff works. So can you tell everybody where you were in 2017 before you came to me and what you have done and all that stuff?
Sure. So I heard of Charlotte around April 2018, so literally a year ago now. And at that time, I had been in business for almost three years, or just coming shy of 3 years, and I tried all this stuff, funnels, websites, photo shoots, all the sort of stuff that you kind of are taught that you should do in order to give or build presence. And I think a lot of people then believe once you have that, it's going to, bring you exponential sales. So I was one of those people, and obviously nothing was working. And I think what I really found interesting about your message was that you kind of digged a lot deeper into what was going on subconsciously. And I know there's a lot of mindset coaches and things like that out there, but I wouldn't call you a coach. I think you're more of a strategist. Like, you really are able to get into the kind of nitty gritty of what's really going on, even the stuff that you're not aware of. So, so I had this kind of moment where I was like, you know what? I don't want to struggle anymore. And if everyone can do this easily, I want to be able to as well. So yeah, that's how I reached out to you, and we started working together. It was really, really tough at the beginning, because I think when you start working with Charlotte, you get really, really challenged on a lot of the things that um, you may not be so comfortable with, and I think that's a good thing. Obviously at the time it's very like but it's still a good thing, and that's, I guess, what you really want from someone who's mentoring you or working with you. So that was really challenging at the beginning, but we had I think an amazing first 3 months together. And what I really, really loved was we just picked apart everything, everything from when I was a little kid to what I was good at to what I enjoyed doing, and really helped me see uh, how I wanted to show up and basically change the world. And what I really, really loved was that you made me see a very, how do I say this, a bigger picture of what I was able to do. Because I really wanted to mention this. This is something for anyone who's listening. What I loved about the work with Charlotte was that she kind of lifted the veil of all the things that online stuff teaches you about, all the kind of bad truths or lies that are told to you that make you sometimes believe that you have to be a certain type of person and you have to show up in a certain way. And then you lose your own authenticity, and then that's why you wonder people don't connect with you, they don't buy from you. And you really helped me see how I could really be authentically me and still make a lot of money, which was just exactly what we wanted to do. So that was great.
Yeah.
And then we went to September. I joined you in LA for your retreat, which was amazing. So again, face-to-face time with you was fantastic. You really went again deep into how to market. So that was actually a great lesson we did. So guys, at the beginning when we first started working together, Charlotte would not let me market, and I would get so frustrated because I'd be like, why is she not letting me do this? And it was actually a really, really great gift, because it it helped you be very observant about how you market, and also to be very critical of not what you think you want to say, but how the message is going to be received by the person who you want to sell to. So that was,
Actually, if I can stop you for one
yeah.
second, I think that's just an excellent point. I was going to say it also because Nimisha is closing 6-figure deals. And if you go and look at her page, if you go and look at her business page, there's not a lot of marketing there. It's not a lot of marketing. It's a lot about her passion for veganism and these other things, which doesn't seem to have anything to do with business. And she's still closing the sales, because the first thing people need to understand is that we think that branding, we think that system, we think that high numbers, and we think that, you know, you having a Gucci bag in Paris, it's authority, and that is going to close high-end sales, and it's absolutely not. So what we leverage with you, and I think you said it so beautifully, we are figuring out exactly what it is that Nimisha can't even see for herself, that she can accomplish, that who she is and what she's really meant to do and everything. And also leverage what's inside her brain, because we're leveraging authority, and authority has nothing to do with how you look or how you make people feel or whatever the fuck. Authority has everything to do with what you say and how you say it. So we have been training Nimisha from the get-go to think about why I'm so unique. What am I really doing? Like, we're breaking down everything so that when you actually get to your clients, which she did, and she is working with corporate people and also coaches. She worked with different kinds of people, and they were like, we cannot do this for you, we cannot do that for you, whatever it was. And she needed to go higher and higher in the company to talk to the leaders and everything. She helping herself, or we helping her to see why she's so much more worthy than, you know, what she was charging, because she was charging something ridiculously low. Like, she helped her client make like $1 million or something like that, and she was charging like $3. That's an over.
It's a bit of exaggeration, but yes, it's something.
But
Like
it was kind of like that. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's helping her go back to the leaders and demand more for herself and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we'll do it. I'm the best, and blah, blah, blah. And you don't need anything other than to know how to say it and what to say, and it's authentic to you, because we cannot do, I cannot do what Nimisha's meant to do, and she can obviously not do what I'm meant to do. So it's essential for, I think, for women in this industry and in other industries, just in general, that we start to value our work more and start to demand more out of the people that comes from us. Because if you can give people a 10 times return, or even a 3, you should demand more money. And that doesn't happen when we are trying all the time to gather leads. Remember, like, gather leads. It's not about gathering a bunch of leads. It's about saying the thing that nobody else can say, so they understand that you know business better than anybody. So that's what we were doing with you.
Yeah, I mean, if I can add to that, that was actually a real the ability to be able to find business within the same client again and again. I think that was really powerful, because I think everyone, it's exactly what you said, they believe it's all about the leads, you need to keep getting the leads. But I think the biggest validation you can get is when your client just doesn't want to let you go. Right? So that was really great. And I think just looking at it from that point of view, and like stretches you to do exactly that, go speak to the leaders, because it's more about making them also see you're here to really help them grow, which is what I wanted to do. But yeah, you're right, it's how do you position yourself. So
yeah.
Yes,
and I also think that was the other thing I was going to say also, that you can transform the world with one sale, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I kind of want this message to like go into everybody's brain like this, that if you are not changing your private clients in depth and they want to stay with you like forever, because you know so much about business, so much about love, so much about spirituality, whatever the fuck you're doing, there's nothing transformational that's going to come out of you when you're on the big world stage. That's why I try to teach people all the time. You're not going to all of a sudden download this beautiful transformational message on stage if your current clients are not perceiving you as a fucking genius and never want to let you go. That's what I'm talking about. And this is where we were guiding Nimisha, and that's why she can have a client that's like she's been with, but now she is getting more paid, she's getting proper paid, and she's obviously sold some stuff to other people as well, but that's how she's able to keep them. And the last thing we did, because you did have a problem with late payments, and I know there's people having problems with late payments, and this is also self-worth thing. Like, people should not pay you late ever. And I was like telling Misha, all right, these people need to step it up or they're fired because this is not cool. And you handled that very well. Can you tell everybody how you handled that and how that led to your new 6-figure contract?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times we panic, which is what used to happen all the time. Like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? Um, and I think the most empowering thing you can do is go in there and demand your solution, what you want as the outcome. And that can be scary. And obviously, you gently kept encouraging me to do that. But it goes back to authority. And I think you don't really realize that lesson until you're actually in the situation and have to exercise it yourself. So I think a lot of people never experience that because they're not willing to put themselves in that uncomfortable situation. But yeah, I think it was getting to a point, and this is also something like, what I've loved about our work is when you really go to the depths of your fears or understanding why you don't want to do something or why you're scared to ask or why you feel you don't deserve it. It helps you therefore walk into that situation and know how to handle it because you understand where your fear or your insecurities come from. So, but yeah, going in there and saying, look, I don't like the way things are being handled, and literally drawing your boundaries, it really helped with the authority positioning for sure, because it then changed the ability to negotiate the next piece of work and with terms that I wanted. So yeah, again, all empowering experiences.
Yeah, because she was able to get her client that was, paying late sometime to meet her standard because she's the authority and she's the businesswoman, change the system, get into a different department, right, of the business, and now getting paid on time in the new $130,000 6 month contract. And that doesn't happen unless you have balls, unless unless you're saying, dude, if you don't do what I say, like, man, you're out of my world.
Yeah.
And that is the whole point, because we as women, we need to value not only our work, but we need to value ourselves, because we are the one bringing the work to the table. Nobody's going to come and give you $3 for whatever you're doing, or you're actually going to get proper paid. And I'm very proud of you for following.
Yeah. I mean, I think also something you taught, which was really nice, is that also when you take these actions, you see the repercussions in other parts of your life as well,
Yeah.
which is what I love about our work. They're like little surprises, whether you like them or you don't. But when you draw that boundary, then you see people also in your personal life or whatever have also started to treat you differently. They look at you in a different way. They respect you a lot more. Not
Yeah.
that you do this to gain respect. I mean, I think I'd like to think that's not what it's about, but it's about being treated as an equal or equity the way you would want it amongst people. So uh, I think a lot of women disempower themselves by just that basic thing of saying, I can't ask. We're so scared to ask.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's a very manly thing to say, oh, this is what I want. But which, by the way, guys, I didn't go in there like guns blazing, going, "Excuse me, I'm gonna do this." There is a humbleness to asking for what you want and the way you do it as well, which can be extremely authoritative by not shouting. So there was learning that as well, which is really another gift I think only women have. I don't think men can do that. So yeah, I think the gifts also have been amazing in the personal growth as well. Like, it's not just about the business, because I know, I mean, obviously we're talking about the sales, but I think if you were to ask me which was much more of value to me, it was the personal growth.
Yeah. In what way?
Just how much I've changed as a person. Like, if I met me a year ago, I had zero boundaries, zero boundaries. Like, um, and I was also one of those people who'd be like, I'd help everyone and not think about, you know, because we do that as people, especially as entrepreneurs. We feel like, we want to help everybody and fix everyone's problems, and we think that maybe that's going to be a great case study or somebody's going to give us a great handout, and it's just such a stupid way of thinking. But it all comes back to that whole thing of just not having boundaries and not knowing your worth. So now, it's so interesting, Charlotte. Like, if I get asked certain questions, which I won't disclose here, I'll tell you about them later, but
Okay.
I'm able to say no, whereas before I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that is such a big release. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. That's the whole point of this work. The whole point is we're not just building a business, we're building a person.
Yeah.
We're building Nimisha. We're building, when Nimisha comes into the room, you don't even have to say anything. Everybody's like, okay, here she comes. And I can't mess with that woman. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of self-esteem and self-worth. And no, your client shouldn't pay you late. You shouldn't do free stuff. And you shouldn't like get what is it called? Case studies because you were doing something nice and whatever. I always say, whenever, if you want to try something out, profit from it. Profit from it.
Right?
Just go try something out. And
Why don't more people think like that? It's so true. You're putting your time into it, so it has to be worth something.
right. It's all
Yeah.
about that. And then that transfer into your relationship. You went to Africa, right, alone, right? And you had wanted to do that for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was saying to you, why aren't you in Africa? What are you doing?
Go now.
Go today. And she did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost like she generally did. But how do you perceive that you not really following your desire that you want to do was affecting your business in a way?
I think the thing that stood out for me the most was how much we settle, or even I was settling. So you, and like when you keep trying something, and because it doesn't work, and you don't really understand why it hasn't worked, you just kind of settle for where you are at. So then you convince yourself and you tell yourself like, oh yeah, I'll do it another time, or yeah, maybe when I have this, or maybe when I have that. Uh, but in those one or two moments when you give yourself that, where you say, actually, no, you know what, I'm actually going to fulfill a desire I have, you somewhere in your psychology also realize that actually having what you want is really easy. It's just we make it very complicated for ourselves, and so therefore don't prioritize what we want. So then when I think about that, and then I think about my business, it is literally about doing what I want for the business and prioritizing that in the same way you do for your life. So essentially, then I know you love this. It's about prioritizing pleasurable experiences, whether they're in business or they're within your life.
Yeah.
And people tend to think that running business, whatever stage you're at, has to be like really difficult or complicated. But I don't think that it doesn't have to be like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think the last thing people should know that we did, because we don't do the typical energy work, when people are like trying to cheer you on and move energy around, whatever fuck, or activate you. We don't do that. That's not a thing. That's not how energy works, by the way, everybody. And we don't do the system and scaling and funnel the way people are doing it, because what we did with Nimisha and what I do with all my clients is that we scale fun. We do not scale numbers. This is a big thing because people think that if you're following numbers, I need to scale to 3 million, 5 million, 1 million, or multiple six figures or whatever, without thinking about profit and about thinking about how you're actually scaling it. That's a big thing. So what we did with her, and the whole idea here, is that you can have one client, you can have two clients, and you can have multiple six figures. You can have 3 fucking clients and make 7 figures. Like, I'm almost there. Okay, I'm not that 7 figures yet, but it will be done with a couple of clients. And there's no team, I have one VA, and you also do not have a team, and you also do not have like tons of things to pay and everything. So she profits a lot more than 7-figure entrepreneurs and 8-figure entrepreneurs, because so much cash goes out. So what do we need to start thinking about? The same thing I started to think with Nimisha is, okay, how much can you profit for it, and how fun is it for you to do? Because is it really fun to give all your money away to your fucking team members and there's like 3% left in my account for you at 3 million? Is absolutely no fun. So we need to change how we're thinking, because if we're just following numbers, we're falling in our wounds. We're falling in a limiting belief, because the most cash does not come from following a number. It comes from doing what you're really meant to do, and that's always going to be extraordinary fun. It's going to be like, oh my god, I'm writing this post, I'm laughing my ass off, or I'm doing something that's really, really fun for yourself. That's the whole point, and that's what we started to do with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, something I could add for the people listening is, the reason for that last contract was because the focus was more on fun. And you'd be surprised at how much a client loves somebody who likes to have fun, as opposed to, someone who's serious all the time.
Yeah.
And that's actually a thing, So as much as people be like, oh yeah, well, everybody says have fun to, and it's not easy. I get that, but you have to find the fun in it, and
Yeah.
that's what's going to make you, that, yeah, it's like follow the fun and you find the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I also want to share with everybody that this hasn't always been easy for Nimisha. I'm not one of those people that says, oh, you're going to get successful overnight and everything is going to be a perfect rainbow with a unicorn on. Like, it's not going to be like that. Actually, when we were like, I think we were like 5 months or 6 months in or something like that, her subconscious, of course, came with a perfect plan. And that was like, now she had to go to court. Okay. Which kind of, how was that experience for you? I want everybody to understand, or I want you to tell them how real this is. And it's not just, you succeed and then you're just happy, 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 happy. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, well, so I think after our first 3 months, we had laid out a very solid plan for what we would do next.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, so it's kind of like, and it was a big ambitious plan. So I'm sure what happened was somewhere internally there was a little girl who was like, oh crap, this is really scary, I don't know if I can do this. And then the next thing you know, right bang in the middle of what you and I were supposed to do, I get jury service. And it wasn't a short jury service, it was a long jury service. And it meant that I couldn't work, I couldn't do any of those things. And so everything came to a grinding halt, like, when I mean all systems stop. um, and I know that a lot of people would hear that and think, well, that it's not in your control, what can you do? But those months taught me how much more it is you who is in control than anybody else, and how much it's down to perspective and how you tackle the situation and what you do in those circumstances. Because if everybody thinks that business is like easy breezy, it's not.
No.
It's really not. And I wish more people would say that, because it's all well and good to talk about the great stuff that we're talking about here. But you're right. There are really ugly moments. There are times when it gets very dark.
Mhm.
However, if you have the right attitude and the right mentors and the right people around you, you learn how to shape that situation and then move forward from that. So, move forward to where we are right now, and everything has turned around. But would I say that I never wanted to go through that? Hell no, because I learned so much more about boundaries than I've ever done before. And again, what I value and what I won't tolerate. That was a big one. What I won't tolerate
That's a big one
at
for
all.
most people.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah.
you're doing this work, your subconscious or your little inner self, girl, boy, whatever, is going to have a tantrum. And for some people, it's like panic. For some people, it's freak out. For some people, it's the jury duty coming and taking all their time. For some people, it's getting pregnant right when you were about to have your big leap. It's just individual for people. And it needs to be said that this is real. It's going to happen, and how we deal with it and depends on your future success, not just success the first or second or third month, but the success year after that and the year after that.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you
You're welcome.
for this beautiful testimonial and these beautiful words. And yeah, congratulations again. I am proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm just going to end the recording now. Okay.
Ooh, good stuff.